I said, before I melt, because as you can see, I'm glazed. I'm fucking glazed again, because 'tis this season, 'tis that time of year. Did I, with the fucking year in advance, because we've been doing this for a while now, with the year in advance, did I say, hey, now that it's not fucking 3,000 degrees outside and humid on top of that, will I take the time to investigate ways to fix this whole scenario so that I don't fucking just literally fucking melt like Frosty the fucking Snowman? Did I do that? No. Okay, so this is the kind of person you're dealing with, just as a heads up, knowing for the in the future going forward. Somebody who says they're gonna do what they're gonna do, but to be fair, but you know what it is. But the thing is, because that's minute. I'm suffering here, and I get it. Like I said, I got low fucking self-esteem. Hey, my self-esteem is through the fucking basement. Okay, so this idea that for me, it's like if I have to suffer more, whatever, I will deal with that. I'm busy building an empire. Okay. I got my eyes on the fucking prize. And there's no books on this. I mean, there's books about empires and shit. But there's no, empire for dummies. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll write the book. Because, again, you have to just, there's people just, we said this on this show. The people just write business books and say, hey, how to succeed in business. And it's like, but your business is selling the business book. So you figured out how to sell a giant bag of shit. But it was also the thing that, it's like, it's a self-fulfilling fucking prophecy. So in that light, in that thing, we could write how to build an empire. Okay, do we know we're fucking throwing darts in the dark? Okay, we're throwing darts in the dark. Will we hit the dartboard? Will you hit your grandmother? We don't know. It's inconclusive. Okay, but the only way you're gonna do it is you're gonna try. We talked about this about food. Right? Food is all trial and error. People died to know that hey, you gotta boil the cranberries. If you eat the cranberries right, the cranberries is not gonna kill you. But then the thing that looks like cranberries that took out Willie. Willie died. Okay, so write that fucking down. Avoid those berries. Okay, if they're blue, the blue ones have been good to us, but the red ones is 50-50. And even like I said with the cranberries, you can't just eat it regular. You gotta fucking you gotta do some shit. You gotta turn it into a sauce. And then how would you know to turn it into a fucking sauce? And juice. How would you know to do it? And the juice is fine, but you also got to put a fuck ton of sugar because this shit is sour and you got to water it down and all that kind of stuff. Trial and error. People die. Okay, so everything is trial and error. Everything. I don't want to hear people say, "Well, there's a way to do it," and then they find out there's a new way of doing things. And then the way that they were doing things was dumb because it's whatever. It killed a bunch of people, polluted the fucking planet. Whatever it did, it just had this kind of thing, and it's like now we got to deal with this now, and then they got to start from fucking scratch. Okay, but there's a bunch of different ways to do things. And I was talking about this the other day because we were talking about the Soviet Union shit. Soviet Union, the Cold War, no one's talking to each other. Maybe they were. Maybe that was all overhyped. Maybe they were all just trading fucking recipes and secrets and all this kind of stuff. Like, hey, here's what you do with the computer chips. But really realistic because they're racing each other to go to space. And you look at America now, the way when America talked about Russia now, you talk 1 o'clock 30, 40, 50 years ago, had to be even fucking worse. And they're like, okay, yeah, we're not going to tell them anything about this computer shit. They're going to have to figure this out. And they did. Probably way fucking worse. I don't see anybody using Soviet computers. It's not like the curtain came down and they're like, okay, we had this. What did you have? It's like, you know what I mean? Like, this was the last bet, okay? And they had a pair of fours going into the fucking, what is it, the river? Which one? I always fucking confuse this. The flop is the 3, and then the turn, and then the river. Yeah, so on the river, you go into the river with a pair of fours, and you're like, hey, maybe something. And then, the flush comes in. Okay, the flush comes in, and you're like, they could have the flush, okay? But they're also Americans, and all of the Americans are like, yeah, I get the best hand ever. I'm the best this, I'm the best this. And it's like, you've been saying that for fucking ever. You've just been banging this fucking drum and playing your fucking tuba and making all this noise going, America. Okay, why don't you fucking just show me, okay? I'll fucking call. And then they lay down and it's the flush. And then the Russian's like, okay, you know what? You can keep that, okay? Oh, no, but I want to see it now. You just keep it, okay? I paid to see you. That was the whole point. What is the name of the plane they had? The Ilyushkins? The Ilyushkins, a bunch of those shits crashed. But then the Airbus shit was crashing too. So it's not like, did you see any Ilyushkins? I think there's a couple of Ilyushkins are still around, aren't they? Is that still a thing? Or did they say, fuck the Ilyushkin? Pop the Ilyushkin bubble. So I'm going to research, so I'm going to think about it. But we're going to have the Deslushkin. Or that sounds like shit. We're going to have the something with Des. Obviously, it's going to have Des. Everything in this empire is going to have Des. It's going to be a fucking cult of personality like you've never fucking seen. Okay? You're going to go buy mac and cheese. It's going to be Des mac and cheese. Okay? And we're going to figure out, whatever way to make that happen. Do we start with the mac and cheese? Do we start before and say, hey, we'll build a brand and then do the whole Trump shit and then just go hey, throw everything against it. Put everything that you can within reach. Put the name Trump on it and just fucking sell it. Does it have to be good? Does it have to work? No. It can all go to shit. It doesn't matter because we're building this brand and then capitalizing on the brand, and then you have the power. Right? So, or is it the other way around? Is it like I get in there and then it's like, okay, now we got the Des mac and cheese, the Des lawnmower, the fucking, I was gonna say Des golf clubs. We're not doing Des golf clubs. We're not doing Des. Or maybe the golf clubs that are defective or some shit, and it's like as punishment for you going and playing golf in the fucking first place. You know what I mean? Because golfers are going to the gulag. I don't want to linger too long on golf again. But you're like a big time golfer, like this has gotta be something better you can do with your time. This has gotta be so, and I know that you could break a lot of sports down like that. You say, hey, basketball is kind of like big golf. Like it's big golf in terms of the ball, small golf in terms of how big the whole fucking thing is. And these teams, right? Obviously, so you can do one-on-one, whatever. The idea is like a big golf, small golf kind of thing. But it is the same thing. So if you broke basketball down to the whole thing, it's like, okay, you gotta throw a thing into the hole. Which is what golf is, except you hit the fucking thing. So when you break it down like that, and that's, you know what, that kind of takes the fun out of everything, because then everything's kind of like that. You know, like you singing music. You know, people are like, oh, music, this changed my life. It's like, yeah, the dude was just doing this on a keyboard. He's literally hitting fucking pads. Or, you know, in a case of like a piano. What is a piano? It's just ivory fucking pads or plastic pads. This is what it is. One thing hits another, and a sound comes out. Like, there's a very unromantic way, look, and then sing. Oh, but he's saying he's coming from his soul. His God was speaking. Yeah, he was also just talking up and down. Go, Like, when you break everything down to its essentials, you know, it all kind of, it gets a little bit which is a good tool. You know, people who do that all the time. It's like, they're going to the gulag, because it's like, I'm not gonna be putting up with that. I'm not gonna be, this is like, you gotta leave me something. I gotta have something in this fucking life to attach to. You know, you stop spoil. There's gotta be one secret that doesn't get spoiled and ruined. You know what I mean? Can I have one mirror that's just left intact, like that just doesn't get fucking smashed? Like, okay, now we can't enjoy this anymore. Because this is one thing. Say we'll have like a certain group of sacred fucking things. It's like, just don't ruin this. The Legos. Don't ruin the Legos, okay? Don't ruin Legos. Like, I understand that the byproducts of fucking Legos is probably, you know, like I said, taking out fucking mackerel colonies in the Atlantic Ocean. All right, it's probably decimating this and that, decimating something. The word decimated and Legos and what's happening with Legos is in some kind of fucking scientific journal. And they're like, you know, I know it comes from Denmark, and we're all thinking like, oh, Denmark is this, and I can't, because everybody's pointing to Denmark. It's like, hey, the Nordic shit, they know what they're fucking doing. All right, and then there's an entire fucking section of American politics like, hey, do what they're doing. Let's just be Denmark, okay? Whatever they do, do that, and then everything's gonna magically fucking become better, right? And there's this whole thing of like forget the whole Greenland shit. Forget the fact they still have Greenland, apparently, and apparently fucking 60,000 people live in Greenland. Apparently fucking 60,000. I thought it was like 5 people. I thought it was literally five fucking people. But 60,000 people, and then it's the whole thing of like, oh, you know, they want to rule their own shit, which is naturally what you want to fucking do. You say, hey, Denmark, go fuck yourself. Look how big Greenland is, and look how small you are. I even know Denmark has like a bazillion times more people. But then the whole thing is like, oh, you know, okay, you do that, and then what? And then like, oh, but they have to be supported. But do they have resources there? I don't know what the whole situation is. I might get into the whole Denmark thing. We're gonna get the Denmark thing into which fucking tree, right? But here's the thing. You know, other than that, other than the things we conveniently forget, Denmark, you seem like a great fucking place. You got the whole thing. Was this whole thing Hugga? The whole thing was like a comfy. You got comfy, you know, this and that, all kind of stuff, right? But and you're making the Legos, because I'm hoping it's fucking Danish. If I turn around and I find out Legos is some other shit, it's like from Finland, it's like, well, then this whole thing is moot. But then just replace Denmark with Finland, okay? Just fucking replace it. It's easy. And so you go, hey, okay, you know, we know Legos is, but now you killed the mackerels. The mackerels are dying, you know? But I will be there in the Desi Gulag and be like, you know, I don't fucking care. They'd leave Legos alone. Leave Legos out of this. We'll figure out a way to engineer the fuck. You know what we'll do? We'll take Beezy Boy. I think Beezy Boy or Musk or one of these fucking, these guys who know everything and is this and that, and we'll get them. You know what we'll do? We'll say, hey, figure out the mackerel shit. I think we'll go with Musk, because he's a science guy, and he's a science guy who does nothing. He just got roast. He just got flambéed. What's flambé? Is that what they do with the creme brulee? A flambé? It just sounds like you get flamed, but it's like even Frenchy, and it's like, it sounds like you just got, it's like roasted, isn't it? Like roasted, you got flambéed. He got flambéed by none other than fucking Donnie Golden Toilets for being a bullshit artist. So it's like, you gotta take, you know, it takes one to know one. And it was kind of like one of those things like, okay, but at the same time, it's like, hey, you know what? The rare W for Mr. Golden Toilets. He just said, he popped this guy's bubble. He's like, what does this guy actually fucking do? You know, what does this guy actually fucking do? Except say, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. You know, it's a great skill to have to say, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's a bad skill if you actually, if there's no money and intention involved, right? But if the whole name of the game is, you know, and especially in the West and all this kind of shit with the stocks and all, your thing is, this is why we're doing this thing with the Desi Empire. We're saying, you got to put the vision out there. You got to say, yeah, I'm going to do that. All you're going to do, it doesn't fucking matter. All you have to say is, yeah, I'm going to do it, and then hope enough fucking people buy the fucking stock. And then the stock becomes, and then so once you get to a certain level, and then like I said, the Fed just dumps fucking money into it. And then if you can monopolize, because then you just have all the fucking money, it doesn't even matter if they're like, oh, the fundamentals. It doesn't matter. You just have all the fucking money. Just put everybody out of business. You have a monopoly for yourself, okay? Now, with the monopolies, now you're in the good graces of the government, because the government's not going to come after you because they understand they're smaller than you. They're smaller than you. All you have to do is when the government starts coming after you, you say, hey, we're moving headquarters somewhere, and then watch them all bow down and suck your dick. For not only for fucking free, they will throw money at you and they will suck your dick dry. Okay? You got them wrapped around your fucking finger. And all because you said, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And again, like I said, and then you said, oh, I'm the modern day fucking Tony Stark, the Iron Man, blah, 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 watch. And I'm a science guy too. I'm not just some business guy. I'm a science guy. And I know this and that. So we're playing that game. Desi's going to do everything. All these ideas that we put out, we're going to do them all. Ari, it doesn't matter. You can put your fucking money in it. Put your money in the Des Fund, which will eventually get translated into Des dollars, which will be manipulated to be always in our favor. You know what I mean? We're gonna cook this fucking currency like you wouldn't believe. But if you're in my good graces, because it's all about powers, and if you're in my good graces, you're fine. You'll be taken care of. You'll be able to afford a lot of shit. Okay? And if you're like, oh, but this is a stupid idea, and the gulag, you go. You did the gulag, you go. You can criticize Dez because I said Dez has a low fucking self-esteem. You can say, hey, Dez, your fucking nose is crooked, you can't breathe, you this and you're that, you ramble and you don't make any sense. I don't give a shit. Fine, Dez, you have a tiny penis. Dez, I don't care. I don't care. But if you insult the Desi idea, it's like the whole thing in the church. You know, the unforgivable, the sin, right? You can't turn your back on the Holy Spirit. They're like, everything else is bueno. Or now, it's not bueno, obviously, because the whole thing about Catholics, like, Dios Mari, you know, the whole thing when is speaking Latin. Fucking smack themselves in the back and saying, hey, I'm a piece of shit, 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 right? The whole thing is that. So it's not all bueno, but the idea is like, yeah, you can come back, you can rebound. Okay, you can do a fucking rebound. You can try to do like what Anthony Weiner was trying to do, or Elias Spitzer. It's like, well, yeah, I know I showed my dick to a bunch of people. I was gonna say some, I don't know, but regardless, but I can come back from this, and he didn't. He did not come back, and neither did Spitzer. But some people do the rebound. Some people do the rebound, and it just does a good enough fucking job. So it's kind of like you could do a Catholic rebound. You could say, hey, I know, but the idea is like, yeah, my soul's rotten because I'm not Jesus. I'm not Jesus and I'm not God. I'm a fucking rotten human being. I'm literally a couple of genes away from being a raccoon. Okay? And so you're going to have to fucking put up with that. And I know raccoons don't have as good a tight... Maybe they do. Maybe raccoons know what's up. I've told you about this. Raccoon is hands down my favorite fucking... At least my favorite mammal. My favorite animal out there right now, because they get shit done for themselves, okay? They don't wait around for this. They don't have, people laying out the food and saying, oh, like these people lay out food for stray cats. That gulag time for you, because what are you doing? What are you fucking doing? And I'm not going into, it's very self-explanatory. Gulag. You need hobbies. And one of your hobbies can be doing something that's very beneficial for me. Like I said, misting me down, giving me a massage, foot rub, maybe. Something. Make yourself useful and make yourself useful to me. The planet too, but mostly to me. Okay? But regardless, the raccoon's not fucking waiting. Okay? I will go to trash bin, let's rip it open. What do you got for me? I will make do with whatever. Okay? And there's no bullshit of like, they're not prissy. It's all fucking, they're straight shooters. Okay? And we're not far away from the raccoon. So that was the whole connection point with this whole thing. We're not that far away from the raccoon. We're a couple steps away. Nothing big. So the idea is, maybe there's raccoon religions too. We don't know. We don't speak raccoon. We will that will be one of my scientific endeavors. It'll be like we need to find a way to have raccoons and human beings because that could be a great partnership. That would be a great fucking partnership. They kind of like they know it's good. They come out at night, so it could be one of these things of like, you know, I'm a fucking fairly nocturnal person myself, but it's like, you know, like I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed. Hey, maybe the raccoon, he's gonna be up all night. Maybe he can do my taxes. And then again, maybe all he wants is certain fucking. He just wants to pick through my fucking trash can. I'll give him all the trash in the world. Teach him how to do the fucking taxes. But in order to do that, we need to communicate. We need to have a communication thing of like, hey, either we build a language, that thing, or we get the raccoon specialists or whatever, you know. Like, these are the people who will be paid very well in the fucking Disney Empire. Raccoon specialists, because we're going to have the best human-raccoon relationship. It's going to be an all-time high. If you have a chart, it's going to be like human-raccoon, it's going to go down because it is at a certain point, people like that are pests and whatever, and then it's going to go fucking skyrocket because we will use the fact that raccoons know what's good, right? And so maybe we'll figure out in this process, we'll say, hey, there's raccoon Jews, there's raccoon Muslims, there's raccoon, you know, maybe they're missing certain things, maybe they have these other things, maybe it's like, you know, the Buddha was, you know, but the equivalent of, they don't have Buddhism, they have, you know, Rachucha. Rachucha was the big fat fucking raccoon, and he ate the most trash, and there's no spiritual component of this. It's just kind of like a fact of saying like, oh, this guy is the champion, you know, and like there's nobody better than him. So what did I say his name was? Rasuka, whatever it is. That is the guy. So maybe that's the biggest raccoon legend. But then somehow Christianity, because Christianity made it everywhere. You know, Christianity made it where Islam made it fucking everywhere. These are the two in particular. They went with wherever the merchants went, wherever the sailors went. You know, like now we show up here and say, hey, did you check this book out? And then before they slice their balls out, particularly with the Christianity shit. I actually don't even know how the Muslim sailors cool. Were they dicks? I mean, they gotta be dicks too because they're just humans. It's human nature to just be dicks. But they're like, hey, check this fucking book out. And they're like, okay, I'll get to it. And like, no, you're gonna fucking read it now. Okay, and it's also, this is not what you fucking believe in. So let's chop. So maybe in that process, I don't know where raccoons are native. I know they're fucking native here. I don't know where else they are in the fucking world. But wherever that is, like, you know, did people go there? Was you know, because then maybe they caught a drift to that. I don't know how much they understand. See, maybe they're laying this whole thing on, like, yeah, the guy's name was Jeezy Boy, okay? He didn't do sins. You know how you do sins? You know how you do fucked up things? You know how you sacrificed the guy for the swordfish the other week? We don't do that. Oh, no, we do that. The religion does that all the fucking time. Jeezy Boy didn't do that. Jeezy's like, sacrifice me. I'll take it. I'll fucking do the, you know, like I said, turn the other cheek. No, not even put my fucking hands up. You want to kill me? Go ahead and fucking kill me. I'm dying for your sins. And people are like, the fuck is that? And they killed him like, oh shit, now I feel bad. Now I know what he was talking about. Okay? Maybe the conquistador. Maybe the fucking conquistador is laying this all out in fucking Panama. I think they got raccoons down there, right? In fucking Panama. And he's like, hey, this is the story of Jesus. And maybe raccoons understand, because they see, like I said, they seem like they have common sense. So maybe they're smarter than they let on. Okay, maybe they understood part of this. And maybe Christianity, then like the raccoon comes back to the thing. He's like, hey, did you get the trash? Yeah, I got the trash. But more importantly, this guy was talking about this thing, Jesus. You guys ever heard of this Jesus thing? And they're like, this is news to me. What is Jesus? Is this a religion thing? We worship Rakusha. Okay, we got Rakusha over here. And it's like, no, yeah, but you gotta check out this Jesus thing. This guy fucking died or whatever it is. And like, you know. Now Christianity is supposed to like raccoons. There's multiple kind of fucking things. So maybe this is possible. Maybe this is not possible. I don't know. I don't care. I don't know why I was asking about the religion of the raccoons or whatever. The idea is we're gonna have a good relationship with raccoons, okay? And we're not that far away from them in terms of Jesus and stuff, and being, you know, we're closer to raccoons than we are to just fucking divinity. And divine, whatever. I do not know where I'm totally fucking lost. I do not know where the entry point was in that. We were talking about sin. I give up. Okay, that's going into a tree. This thing's fucking dinging on me too, and you know, no, you go through the whole week. I just been cutting everybody out. I just been saying, you know what? I'm bored of you. I'm bored of you. People going like, you know, how many fucking times in a row? It's like what we were talking about with The Rock. You know, it's like we're talking about The Rock. Like, how many fucking times in a row can we do this? You know, I get the first time. You did the Walking Tall. You did the whatever the movie was, the Rundown. Oh, the Mummy, whatever. Oh, he's a wrestler. He also does the acting. Oh, it's like, it's great. It's 17, 18 fucking years. You know, things can go on for 18, 20, but you gotta change it up. You gotta do like fucking Dave Bowie. You know, at the very least, fucking, you know, like do a pull, like, you know, have a blonde phase. I mean, I know he doesn't have hair or whatever, but, you know, like do like a Matthew McConaughey. Talk about Matthew McConaughey on his podcast before. Not the first time, guys. Come on, do a Matthew McConaughey. Okay, you start out and you do the rom-com, going, all the girls like me, and then he's like, you know what? Fuck all that shit. I'm sick and tired of getting 2% of Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, I want to get 98%. And then so he started doing this other shit, and you're like, oh. Didn't know the guy had him in him. I thought he was just a fucking heartthrob, okay? But now apparently he can act his ass off, okay? So but that's what you need. If things are gonna go on and on, it needs to be variety, okay? Especially in this day and age, because I get bored fucking easily, okay? I can have whatever I want. I have this box, okay, and it has a thing called the internet. I can have whatever the fuck I want. That's part of the fucking tragedy too, is I can have whatever the fuck I want. Unfortunately, and yeah, I know you could say, oh, I put parental controls. Your kid, is literally 10 seconds away from a snuff film at all times. You know what I mean? This is the kind of shit, though. This is the kind of society we're building for ourselves. And one of the side effects of that is, I just get bored of shit. I get bored of shit fucking easily. So now, especially now, it's like, even 2 years. So even someone doing the same thing for 2 years, it's like, all right, enough of that. Enough of that. And I get you have to have certain things that fucking make you, right? You have to have the certain things where it's like, yeah, I understand now who, this thing, like sometimes you go out in the fucking wilderness that is society and you say, okay, I'm overwhelmed because I'm just being bombarded with things and I'm being forced to be 10,000 different people. You're supposed to be one person. You're supposed to be just barrel through fucking life, like I said. And then if you're an asshole, you're an asshole, but they gotta fucking deal with it. Because if you start adapting and reacting to everything, that's when you start losing. You just have to go full speed ahead, right? So that's the way to do it. But in reality, it's a lot different. And then you also it's like, not everything's familiar. If it was a routine, you'd be like, hey, no coffee, hey, fuck off, hey, blah, blah, blah. But then it's like there's new stimuli. So you're like, okay, what is this? How do I act? Who is this person? Are they nice? Am I, all this kind of stuff. So it's all overwhelming. And then so when that thing happens and you just feel like sometimes you're just, like I said, when I go to the Manhattan or whatever, you just feel like a fucking floating fucking void. And you're like, who is Desi anymore? I don't even fucking know. It helps to have certain things that remind you of that, right? So that's the other side of it. So it's like, yeah, I get, that, I'm talking about things being bored. But then if you're just doing new things all the time, it's like, who are you, right? What I've noticed is that you just doing it. I don't find that two things. I used to be, oh, this song reminded me of this. Oh, this person. I'm cutting out all things that aren't related to the Desi Empire. The Desi Empire will ground me. You know what's going to ground me is waking up every fucking day and saying, oh, here are the rules, and you are the supreme fucking person on the entire planet. You are number one. There's 7 billion humans. You are number fucking one. And you can do whatever the fuck you want. Oh, and if you had a dream where you thought you suddenly you were Pegasus, you're Pegasus and your teeth were falling out and your hose were falling off and all that kind of shit, guess what? You wake up and you're like, oh, there's my servants. I'm fucking grounded again. It's the Desi Empire. I'm Desi. I know who I am. So it's like that and this fucking show is in until we have all the votes, until we win the fucking popular vote in America. That's the crown jewel. America's the crown jewel. Unless we could also do the whole thing where we take over Russia and shit in China. Then maybe we're going to take over one of these empires. We have to swallow one empire. And those are really the three right now, right? Because then people are like, oh, but Europe. It's like, Europe has just shown with this whole thing. Like, and I'm not saying whatever. Like, again, but Russia, the whole point was Russia says, hey, we're moving into the Ukraine, right? And, people in America were like, oh, fuck that. And then people who were saying, yeah, well, Europe is going to be interesting because they got the whole fuck. They were natural gas. It's like, how much do they really give a shit? It's like, yeah, innocent people are going to be slaughtered because Putin's dick's got to fucking have space to expand, but it's like, hey, people are going to be so, but I also need fucking gas, okay? So, and then they're like, oh, so this could be where, and then people are writing this whole thing, like, this is where Europe's going to split from America, and then look how they fucking fell in line. Yes, sir, no, sir, what do you want? Or do you, okay, we'll take the more troops, we'll take more of the equipment, all this kind of unanimous. There was no fucking two ways about it, and again, right side of the issue, wrong side, that's not the point. But don't come at me and say there's a European empire, because, and then, this is what I'm saying, like I was saying this earlier, I've said it before on this. The whole thing is like, even someone like the Irish guy, again, I'm keeping it within what I can fucking throw stones at. And not according to the Irish. According to the Irish, I'm not allowed to throw stones at the Irish because I'm a Yank. But this is the whole point with the whole thing. The Yank, right? You're fucking Yank this, Yank that. And they say this every time. It's like, every time Israel-Palestine fucking flares up, they're like, oh, the fucking Yanks, this is fucking Yanks. Oh, yeah, because you recognize Palestine as a country, right? Oh, what's that? You fucking don't? Oh, yeah, but it's our politics, Oh, yeah, well, that's the same thing over here. So why don't you go fuck yourself and shut up? Why don't you go... Fucking Poland. Fucking Poland recognizes Palestine. Poland who builds fucking forts. calls him Fort Trump. Because if you went to Poland, like Poland is one of the most nationalistic fucking places. It's like Poland, everything's about Polish history. To the point where they don't want to do certain basic fucking things because people go Polish history. But if you came to Poland and you said, "Hey, Poland, you're gonna be the 52nd fucking state," they would say, "Let's do it." Like we're gonna be a state of Poland. We're gonna have our own country. But if it could be a country of Poland, like we'll do a Puerto Rico kind of situation. We could do like a Puerto Rico kind of situation, but we'll be part of the United States. Like they'll be like, yes, sign me up. And I'm not saying that's better. I'm not saying good for them or whatever. I'm saying, and then America will be like, yeah, actually, we'll get back to you. You leave us your fucking phone number, Zbigniew, and we'll fucking get back to you at a convenient time. And then they'll be fucking waiting, twiddling their fucking thumbs until that happens, which is it's never gonna happen. The point being is that in spite of all that, at least they recognize fucking Palestine. Okay, and so there's a fucking Ireland going, okay, well, and I'm just, this is one example, but by and large, I'm just using this as a whole thing, and you can say the same thing in Brits. The Brits say, oh, fucking Yanks, and the French say, fucking Yanks, fucking talking about this and that, and then the whole, the climate and this and that, and they fucking smoke like chimneys. The whole thing is, and I don't mean to get on this, none of this, I'm not doing this whole thing, like, yeah, fuck all these people. Like I said, I hate America as much as everybody, but I hate everybody. That's the whole fucking thing. I hate everybody. The only thing I like is this. That's all I like. So whatever it is gonna be rolled into that. I like New York, but even New York is I'm getting fucking sick and tired of this shit too, because it's just America. You know what I mean? As more it just becomes, and then it's like, oh, it could be something. Then it's just America. And then what is America? America's China, because all this shit's made in China and all this kind of stuff. And then what's China? China's fucking Russia. It's all the same thing. And it's like 100 people who run all this shit. I want to be one of those 100 people. What I gotta do? Who do I gotta talk to? There's nobody to talk to. Like I said, nobody wrote the book Empire for Dummies. We're gonna write the Desi book of business. The sequel to that will be Building an Empire. Empire for Dummies, courtesy of Des. I'll show you how to build one from the fucking ground up. Okay, and it'll be all of our. We'll change it. We'll write it as we go. Because then it'll be released when we have it'll be released whenever there's a convenient of us. I was gonna say release it when the Empire, but then fucking thing. But then if there's a good money, if money comes, if fucking Beezy Poo comes along and says, hey, Amazon wants to pay you fucking pennies on the dollar to release this shit, we'll say we'll take it, and then we're still gonna put you in the gulag when times it's not gonna be like, oh, that was nice that you did that. I'm gonna look the other way. You're still getting fucking hung in the public square on some bullshit. Like I said, you got fucking Assange coming back here. They're like, okay, we need Assange back in the United States because he spilled the beans too much. He told the people how it is. And he said, look, did he make shit up? No, he's like, I'm show you the actual fucking things. But that was the shit that we said, you can't see this because it makes us look bad. And he's like, oh, really? Well, I'm going to show it to you. And then he fucking did. And he was hiding out in the fucking embassy. He got his fucking sleeping bag in the fucking Ecuadorian embassy. And they're like, hey, bring that guy back to us. We gotta teach him a fucking lesson. And they're like, oh, but you need some legal shit. Like, they're like, find something. Just go fucking find something. What is it? It's 150 years old. It's espionage, whatever the fuck. Use that. In the same fucking way, we're gonna get. What's this shit? The Sherman shit? It's some of these antitrust things. Our boy Teddy did that. And I say our boy Teddy. Teddy was a piece of shit. But out of all the pieces of shit, I think I like Teddy the best. Because he's just like, oh, this is what it's going to be. And if you don't like it, I'm going to fucking, I'm going to barrel through you. You drink like a pot of coffee. That dude is a fucking animal. All right? In addition to being a total fucking scumbag. But as like I said, it comes with the territory. There's no non-scumbag U.S. president. It just doesn't happen. And if they do, they're the worst fucking president. Because this whole thing is like, anyway. You get the thing. You say, hey, the Sherman thing. On the Sherman antitrust, whatever the fuck. Bring this guy in. We gotta fucking, we gotta ask him some questions. But there's no questions. He's just going straight into the fucking gulag. And like I said, be just publicly humiliated in the fucking town square. I'm gonna take all his money. I'm gonna put it into a Desi dollar distribution thing. And Desi dollars thing is gonna be hooked up to Bitcoin or whatever, so people, so the money is turned to fucking paper. Or is it just gonna be whatever I say it is? Because that's what we call it as a fiat. It's a fiat. It's the opposite of the thing, right? Fiat is like, fiat means because it used to be gold. It used to be gold, and then it was like, oh, you used to be able to actually walk into the fucking bank with a piece of the dollar and be like, hey, I want this much in fucking gold, and they would have to give it to you. And apparently, I think, was it France, right? What was the whole thing with France? France said at one point, they're like, they didn't come in with a dollar. They came in with like $1 billion. And I say, hey, I need $1 billion worth of gold. And America's like, oh, yeah, no, we can't do this anymore. I'm sorry, we're closed for business. You came at 5:01. We close at 5. Okay, and they came back the next day like pardon, whatever it is, pardon, no parlay fucking Americano. All right, we don't do that, so we don't know what you talk about. Oh, and by the way, we just changed the laws overnight, so now it's not even attached to gold anymore. It's just fucking paper, and it's fiat, so it means that it's just whatever I say it is. Okay, it's whatever I fucking say it is. And then now we're getting mad at China because China, now it's the past fucking 15, 20 years, because China's like, hey, we're going to keep this shit like really fucking cheap. Like, I don't understand beyond that. Like, like, so whatever that is, that made keeping the thing low made the goods cheap, and then so you buy the goods and whatever it is. And it's like, crack it, we fucking bought all this shit. And America's like, whoa, you can't do it. You can't just say what your currency is. Oh, yes, you fucking can. That's the whole fucking point of this shit. You just say how much it is, okay? And then it starts to inflate and you tax. That's the point of fucking tax. Because taxes don't pay for anything. We made this mistake too. We say this is what your taxes pay for. We say that a lot over here, but actually it's just not the fucking truth. This is the great thing about having an internet fucking connection. You just look this shit up and you're like, wow, I didn't even fucking listen. Taxes don't fucking pay for anything. That's the crazy shit now. Inflation is going through the fucking roof. That's the crazy shit. Because inflation goes through the roof. Who gets hurt? The person with $5, right? The person who really needs the $5 because now if inflation, I'm not going to sit and do the fucking math. But now it's like now you have 10% less money that you had, right? But the idea is that you're also getting fucking taxed, right? So because they're not going after Beezy Poo, they're not going after the Beezy guys. And like the idea is, okay, well somebody's got to do the thing or the thing fucking inflates, right? But now the thing is fucking inflating anyway, and we're still fucking taxing you. So we're taxing you to prevent you, really is what it is. Because they say to tax you to pay for. That's not how things fucking work. That's not how things work. You don't tax to pay for shit. You tax to make sure the shit doesn't fucking inflate. And also to make, because it's like, and then if you don't pay it, you go into fucking jail. So it's like, it gives the thing about the fucking dollar. So it's like, that's what gives the dollar the thing. You pay taxes with it. And so you do that, and it's like, like I said, you don't pay, you go to jail, whatever. But the idea being, is that so what I was saying is, so now you have to pay your tax thing to make sure that the thing doesn't inflate, which is going to hurt, which it is anyway, and it's hurting you anyway. So now you're getting hurt because you're being fucking taxed, and it's inflating at the same fucking time. Like, and then the whole thing, is it actually inflating, or is fucking, CVS saying now is the time to strike? Okay, you have deodorants that were $4, how it's $7. And if they come and complain, like, what the fuck's going on here? They say, yeah, sorry, inflation. But it's not fucking inflation. It's partially fucking inflation, right? But it's a lot because you said, oh, I can now get away with fucking charging $7 for a stick of fucking aluminum. Right? That's part of what's happening too. But the point with all this shit is, at the end of the day, it's like you say that everything is so fucking fake with this whole shit. They was even talking about Bitcoin, right? But the Bitcoin goes up and down, based on what the stock market does, and what the stock market, and that's the same thing with houses, same thing. All this shit goes based on what the stock market does, and the stock market is like, oh, because sales were good, consumer. It's like, no, it is the Fed fucking putting money into it or not? It's all literally. It's like, yeah, and they're like, oh, again, China. Listen, it's everything is like, what are you deciding to do with the piece of paper? How much is this paper? What are you going to do? You're going to burn some of the paper, or you're going to put more of the paper? What's happening? That's what everything in this fucking planet, because then that's the whole thing is like, this is the gold and the dollar standard, whatever the fuck it is. Then everything revolves around that. So now everything's revolving around this whole fucking thing. And now we go in this whole thing. Like I said, you turn on Shark Tank, and on Shark Tank they say, hey, your business is worth this, is worth that. It's like, that's all bullshit. Okay, everything is fucking bullshit. And if that wasn't already the lesson that you should have already known coming into this thing, that was going to be the moral of the fucking story. Everything is bullshit, and then vote for Dez. Dez is going to become the guy anyway, regardless of whether you vote for me or not. It'll just make my job easier, and then like when I become the guy, I'll look at the sheets and say like, oh, he voted for me. Go easy on him. Right? Take it easy on this fucking guy. Yeah, like, don't separate him from his children, and don't fucking wrap him in like the feces blanket. Okay? Leave that for some other guy. Okay? He'll be spared from that. He'll only go into the gulag for like serious fucking crimes. Okay? Serious fucking crimes. All that. Okay, I'm done with all that shit. All that shit's going to a trick, because I just thought of the last thing I want to say, and then I'm gonna go, because I've lost 2 pounds already. In the Desi Empire, okay, shorts. We're gonna have to. Usually I'm like, this is what it's gonna be, and you would expect me to say fuck shorts. The thing is, there's a reason for shorts to exist, right? There's a time and a place for shorts, and there's a time and place where there's nothing else. If you're playing ball in the summer, right, you're not gonna wear fucking sweatpants. Are you gonna wear tighty? You're not gonna wear tighty whities either, right? You gotta wear. So there's certain things where it's like short. But by and large, we gotta figure out someone with shorts. Okay, I personally, because I think, because now it's shorts weather, and there's no way to wear the shorts and not feel like you're fucking 12. Is it just me? Is it just me, or do I feel like a fucking, like, literally like a middle schooler every time I wear fucking shorts? Okay, and I know it could be like, oh, you're on the way to this, you're on the way to the gym, you jog with it, and I also don't want to just say, hey, no more shorts, because, and again, I'm gonna sound like a fucking pig, blah blah blah. There's some people I don't mind wearing the shorts. It's like when summer rolls around, for me, it's like, now we gotta do the fucking summer clothing, but that's for my gender, okay? So the other gender is like, I actually appreciate this, thank you very much, and not in a sleazy fucking way, but like it's a mild appreciation. I'm like, oh, I'll take it. I'll take it. So, so we have to figure out this whole thing. We're going to have a conference. We're going to have a shorts fucking conference. And it's going to be like, like how they have these things where they're like, they bring in the experts every once in a while on Capitol Hill for no fucking reason. They'll say, hey, today's topic of discussion is, whatever, carousels in America, okay? Where's carousels going? We need to bring the carousels experts in and say, hey, first of all, break down how the fucking carousel works, because I know it's been around for hundreds of years and it seems very self-explanatory. I have no fucking clue. Teach me how a fucking carousel works. I guarantee you it's fascinating. I find out things like how a fucking toilet works. When you actually see, you're like, oh, like the light bulb moment, because everything just seems automatic, and we just take everything for talk about dollars and shit. People go like, oh, but the dollar. It's like this. Like, but have you ever thought about what a dollar is? Has anybody ever sat and thought about that? That's all these kind of things. And people are like, you know how a toilet? Of course I know. How does the toilet work then? Watch them not be able to fucking explain. They're like, oh, the water goes, and then the shit's gone. Yeah, well, how does it fucking do that? Like the first time you actually realize when you have to fucking fix the thing, you're like, oh, that's actually fine. And then it goes, and then this, and then and then that. Not a bad skill to have. But in the same way as that, it's like, how does the carousel work? Again, there would be a lot of that. Oh, the stupid fucking sounds I just made. There'll be a lot of that in the carousel thing. It'd be like, now I think, wasn't there a guy named Carousel? Wasn't it named after Carousel? Something like, or Carouseli or some shit like that? Wasn't it? I think we have to do a little research into that. But you get everybody, and then have a guy who did the biography of his life and say, hey, what was Carousel's favorite fucking snack? Okay, did he like the fucking mango with the chilies on it, or was it too ethnic for him? But I said Carousel, so he's okay, Italian guy, right? What's an Italian snack? They just eat. I just feel like they just eat heavy food at all times. Like everything is just like, for breakfast, it's just eggplant parmesan. What's an Italian breakfast? I don't know, but I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Everything you need to know about the carousel. So we're going to do one of those things. We're going to do it for shorts. We're going to have the shorts experts, and we're going to have the shorts lobby. But then the shorts lobby, the lobby's the whole point is that they just fucking feed you all this shit, and then you walk away going, well, actually, I'm a firm believer in this. So they'll have like literally 30 seconds to fucking speak. That's it. Okay? And then, but we have the real experts, and we'll figure out what the story is with shorts, because we need to make a decision. Because, and again, is it me projecting on the thing, this whole thing of like, I don't like feeling like a 12-year-old. I don't think, but I don't know who does like feeling like a 12-year-old. But I do. There's no way to do it. There's no way to wear shorts without feeling like someone of that. And so I think something just needs to societally needs to be fucking done. Like I said, because there's a lobby, you can't do it now, because if you say fuck shorts, then the fucking the Old Navy people Old Navy has paid off Mitt Romney or one of these guys, and they're gonna show up and be like, shorts are the vital part of America is a fabric, and they're gonna the fabric. They'll do a pun on that. Shorts have been a fabric of the American lifestyle. And then all of a sudden nothing gets done, and like, okay, it's because we gaslit the fucking public, and it's like, but I'm bringing this to the. This is one of those issues that nobody talks about. We gotta do something about shorts. We gotta figure something out. We gotta have some ground rules. And I know I don't like putting unnecessary rules. Actually, I do. Yeah, I fucking love putting unnecessary rules. I don't like being at the end of unnecessary rules. I think that's the difference. If I'm the one starting the fucking rules, no problem with that. You're just gonna have to deal with it. You're gonna have to deal with it. If I decide next week a French toast is legal, it's illegal. You're gonna have to fucking do it. And you're gonna be fucking crafty. You're gonna be like, oh, it's not French toast, it's Argentinian Wonder Bread or whatever it is. I don't care. I can see through your shit. You're going in the gulag. I make the fucking rules here. Okay? So that's it. We're gonna have a thing about shorts, and I'm done. And as far as I'm done, I had this coffee. The coffee's now gone cold, which is good, because I'm roasting. I'm roasting like the coffee bean. All right, and that's it. I'm gonna go. It was nice checking with you. I don't even know if any of this was valuable. I just literally had a fucking heat stroke for 45 minutes. So was that even in a comprehensible language? Who knows? Who cares? Little baby steps. I'll see you from my fucking throne 30 years on. All right? That was a horrible fucking way to end it too. I didn't even stick that landing. But this is not the last Desi, is all I'm saying. And that should be a foregone. You should have already known this. But I'm getting out of here, all right? So fuck off.